A sight now all too familiar in Haiti. Anti-government protests descending into the looting of stores. Rocks thrown at police, who respond by firing tear gas. Port-au-Prince was engulfed in another day of protests on Monday, this time against the US and Canada sending military gear, such as armored vehicles, to Haitian law enforcement last week to help it combat local gangs. Some demonstrators waved Russian flags in an apparent act of rejecting Western foreign powers.
No to the Canadians. No to the Americans. You are monsters. You don't have solutions. You are chaos. You are behind the gangsterization of crime. You are giving arms to our brothers and those who are in underprivileged neighborhoods.
On Monday, the US and Mexico proposed deploying a security mission to restore order in Haiti amid a worsening humanitarian crisis. Also put forward was a sanctions regime that would target anyone who threatened the peace in Haiti. These moves are aimed at breaking the chokehold local gangs have over Haiti's fuel supply. Gangs have blockaded Haiti's main fuel port for nearly a month, halting transport and leaving many Haitians without food or clean water amid an outbreak of cholera. The UN says more than 4 million Haitians now face acute food insecurity, as looting and gang shootouts become increasingly common. At a UN security meeting, Chinese and Russian representatives rejected the idea of a security mission, saying Haitian leaders have openly opposed foreign intervention. A UN peacekeeping mission known as MINISTER, which operated in Haiti between 2004 and 2017, faced harsh criticism, from its role handling a cholera outbreak in 2010 to allegations of sexual abuse.
Severe humanitarian crisis and lives of its citizens have been torn apart. So much so that few days back, the head of the United Nations had exhorted armed action in the island. Today we decode the crisis this Caribbean island is going through. But before that, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to One India. So, what exactly is plaguing Haiti? Breakdown of democratic institutions, power vacuum due to internecine power struggle in the country, recent cholera outbreak. These are a few of the factors, but the most crucial one that has led to the current crisis is fuel. Gasoline, petrol and diesel, and of course, Haiti's infamous criminal gangs. Haiti has been thrown into a vortex of uncontrolled gang violence for quite some time now, and all these have led to where Haiti is right now. Although Haiti has tapped some of its hydroelectric potential, its abundant solar and wind power potential remains mostly unexploited. Haiti generates about 80% of its electricity from fossil fuels obtained from 2 oil terminals in Port-au-Prince, its capital. Only about 12% of the rural households have electricity at home. So, Haiti relies extensively on fossil fuel imports to keep its economy that was already in shambles running. The trigger for the current crisis is the blockade of Varro Terminal, a key fuel terminal by armed gangs that began last month. The blockade is being led by a coalition of gangs called G9, which controls areas in and around the capital city. And the leader of G9 is Jimmy Barbecue Cheroze. He and other gang leaders are considered the de facto authority in the areas adjacent to the capital. The G9 on September 12th dug trenches outside the main entrance of the Varro fuel terminal to protest an announcement by the government by cutting fuel subsidies. That blockade led to shortages of gasoline, diesel and halted most transport in creating shortages of basic goods including clean water. Hospitals have either shut the doors or curtailed their operations because they cannot power diesel generators which are necessary to maintain stable electricity there. The United Nations says Haiti is witnessing catastrophic hunger with more than 4 million Haitians facing acute food insecurity. Civil unrest is on the rise and anti-government protests have at times devolved into looting. Haitians report increased incidents of gun battles in residential areas that are being waged between rival gangs or with the police. The gangs are using sexual violence, including against children and the elderly, in order to instill fear in the local population. Haitians were already protesting and people were taking to the streets against their government. But this time, an international aspect has also been added in the equation. But how? Almost 2 weeks back, Haiti's Prime Minister had asked for international assistance to deal with the gang violence. He had requested the international community to help set up a specialized armed force to quell the violence, which has worsened in the power vacuum after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse last year. This request and subsequent affirmations by USA, Canada and a few other nations signaling they will send in help has left Haitians fuming. Many Haitian protesters and civil society leaders have rejected the prospect of international intervention, saying history has demonstrated that foreign forces bring more problems than solutions. They say delivering guns to underprivileged people would create more chaos. Apart from earlier protests, the possible involvement of foreign military powers has led to widespread protests. The crisis in Haiti does not seem to abate, and the spiral of gang rivalry and higher costs of living have aggravated the situation in the country. Also, the latest outbreak of cholera in Haiti has made lives worse for its citizens, and they are finding it difficult to even survive. We hope you find this new information significant. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe.
Local gangs.
Non Canadiens, non Américains. Vous êtes des monstres. Vous n'avez pas de solution.
No to the Canadians, no to the Americans. You are monsters, this man says. You don't have solutions. Over the weekend, Canada and the U.S. sent equipment, including tactical and armored vehicles, that the Haitian government purchased. Global Affairs Canada said in a statement that the delivery was aimed to help Haitian National Police battle criminal actors who are fomenting violence and disrupting the flow of critically needed humanitarian assistance, hindering efforts to halt the spread of cholera. Haiti is one of the poorest countries on the planet, and it's been gripped by deepening crises since the killing of its president last year. The Guardian reporting Tuesday, Haiti is on the verge of collapse, quoting one AGO working there who says we cannot descend even further into this abyss. The situation is said to be growing deadlier by the day because of gangs, hunger, and a cholera outbreak.
Haiti is facing a humanitarian catastrophe.
In an update Friday, the UN's World Food Program said almost half of Haiti's population is facing hunger. Haitian gangs have been blocking the distribution of diesel and gasoline, creating shortages of basic goods, including water. And in a disturbing report, the UN's Human Rights Office revealing that children as young as 10, as well as elderly women, have been subjected to appalling sexual violence.
Colleagues, if there was ever a moment to come to the aid of Haitians in dire need, it is now.
During an emergency meeting of the UN Security Council Monday, the US and Mexico said they're preparing to seek UN support for a non-UN security mission to restore order in Haiti, something that would be led by a partner country.
A problem of this magnitude cannot be solved by one country or even by a handful of partners in the region.
But there's skepticism from representatives of Russia and China, who say some Haitian leaders have openly opposed the idea of a foreign intervention. Melissa Duggan, City News.
Hi, Juan.
Hi, Amy, and welcome to all of our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world.
Well, we begin today's show looking at the crisis in Haiti, where protesters continue to demand the resignation of the U.S.-backed Prime Minister, Ariel Henry, and against the deployment of international troops to Haiti amidst a growing humanitarian crisis. A blockade of a key port in Port-au-Prince, the capital, by gangs has led to a critical shortage of fuel, food, and water for millions of people. Meanwhile, Haiti's fighting a new outbreak of cholera. On Monday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called for a, quote, armed action to reopen the port.
It's an absolutely nightmarish situation for the population of Haiti, especially Port-au-Prince. I believe that we need not only to strengthen the police, strengthening it with training, with equipment, with a number of other measures, but that in the present circumstances, we need an armed action to release the port and to allow for a humanitarian corridor to be established.
On Monday, the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, pushed for the UN Security Council to authorize a non-UN international security mission to go to Haiti.
The second resolution we're working on would authorize a non-UN international security assistance mission to help improve the security situation and enable the flow of desperately needed humanitarian aid.
But in the streets of Haiti, many protesters have condemned the United States for pushing to intervene again in Haiti. Protesters are also demanding the resignation of Ariel Henry, who has ruled since the assassination of Jovenel Moïse on July 7, 2021. This is former Haitian senator and presidential candidate Moïse Jean-Charles.
Freedom. We are not in the states of the United States. We are not provinces of the United States. We are a country. We are a republic. They cannot give us orders. This time we do not need them. If Ariel Henry does not resign and the bank officials don't change their minds, we will make a revolution in the country.
We're joined now by Guerline Joseph. She is co-founder and executive director of Haitian Bridge Alliance, which advocates for humanitarian assistance to Haitians and other Black immigrants from the Caribbean and Africa. Today, she's joining us from Mexico City, where she's looking into the impacts of the Title 42 pandemic Trump-era policy that's been used to block at least 2 million migrants, including tens of thousands of Haitians, from applying for asylum at the U.S.-Mexico border. The Biden administration recently expanded Title 42 to begin expelling Venezuelan nationals. Guerline Joseph, welcome back to Democracy Now! Before we move to what's happening at the border, let's talk about what's happening in Haiti right now. You have the reports that chaos is engulfing the country, that it's become so total, the social fabric is so torn that the country is on the verge of collapse. And then you have the UN Secretary General calling for military action. Can you respond to the protests and the response?
Good morning, Amy. Thank you so much for having us. What we are seeing in Haiti right now is extremely painful as a Haitian woman, as a Haitian American woman, to see how the country has been dipping into this abyss. And we have been in communications with civil societies in Haiti to understand what is needed on the ground. And they are telling us they need a Haitian-led solution in order for the country to get out of where we are right now. As you mentioned, Amy, rampant violence, gang violence, political turmoil, assassination of the president, still no answer. And we are seeing people really protesting on the street for the right to sovereign solution to the issues that are happening. And they are saying no to an invasion, no to armed invasion from the international community, because every time there is the so-called help invasion that people go to Haiti, result in chaos. You also mentioned the cholera pandemic that is in the rise right now, and that itself is a result of the UN being in Haiti after the earthquake. So we are seeing and hearing, and we are taking the time to understand what Haiti needs right now and how we move forward.
And Guerline Joseph, I wanted to ask you, we keep hearing about this gang violence that is rampant throughout Haiti, but there are some Haitians in the U.S. and as well as other radicals and socialists here in this country who say that all these gangs are not alike. For instance, that the FRG9, the Revolutionary Forces of the G9 family, led by Jimmy Cherizet, are much more political, and they're the ones that are dealing with this blockade of the port, whereas other gangs like the GPEP are actually part of work with the Ariel Henry government and the police, and the United States seems to be more focused on FRG9. Could you talk about whether there are differences between these gangs and what's your sense of how the narrative is being shaped here in the U.S.?
Absolutely. One thing I want to clarify is the fact that this gang pandemic, this great gang phenomenon, is not native to Haiti. It's imported to Haiti. We are not used to this type of violence when it comes to gang. This is a new system that is being put in place, or that has been put in place to destabilize the country. I do not know who is supporting which gang. I do not know which activities are being supporting either by outside sources or people within the government. But what we are seeing right now is that people are fearful. We are seeing entire neighborhood being displaced in Martissant, in Croix des Bouquets, in Pétionville, where we never had any violence before, that we are seeing all places in the country dealing with gang violence. And again, it is imperative that we understand the narrative that's being shared is that Haiti has never had to deal with this level of gang violence. This is new. This is backed by many different other outside sources, and we must understand that we have to come to a resolve where we rid the country of violence so people don't have to flee. Right now, we are seeing people fleeing by boat, either going to Puerto Rico, to the Bahamas, to Miami, and they are dying on the way here. We are seeing people fleeing from Haiti, making their way to the border in Mexico because they cannot be at home. We are seeing the political turmoil, the gang violence that are being Haiti, making the way to the border in Mexico because they cannot be at home. We are seeing the political turmoil, the gang violence that are being financed or supported by whomever, that are creating a space where people cannot survive. That is why when we speak to civil societies in Haiti, we understand that in order for us to move forward, there must be sustainability, there must be proper school, there must be proper hospital, there must be, the agriculture needs to be revived in order for people to be able to be safe at home and not have to flee.
Can you talk about the Montana Accords, what they are, and the group that developed them following the assassination of Haiti's former president in 2021?
I am not an expert of the Montana Accord, but what we understand is that over 500 groups, civil societies, political groups have come together to come up with a solution that is led by Haitians to be able to find a way moving forward. What we understand from the Montana Accord, it is the only alternative we have right now to really getting ourselves out of the political turmoil, possibly having a safe transition where then we can move to a better space in Haiti. So again, I am not an expert in the Montana Accord, but from understanding and speaking with many different groups and people who are involved, it seems to be a good alternative in order to move forward. But what we are seeing is that there's no real engagement between the Montana Accord parties, the international communities, people who wants to support Haiti and wants to be able to get a way out of the issues we are dealing right now. So we are calling on the international community, on the US and Canada to not side with with the political people in power, but to make sure that they are including the civil societies, the people of Haiti, who are able to take their future in hand and see how we can work together. At this point, we believe that Haiti needs support. Haiti needs to be stabilized. Haiti needs to have sustainable ecosystem so that people can live, people can prosper, not just survive, but thrive.
This is Inside Story. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Sami Zaidan. Well, Haiti was seen as a trailblazer, as the world's first black-led republic in 1804, shaking off its French colonizers. But France forced it to pay reparations, and the US occupied the country for 2 decades. It then endured autocratic rule and more American military interventions. This painful history has been invoked by many in Haiti who oppose the government's call for a foreign force to come and secure the streets. The country is still reeling from a series of shocks over the past 12 years. They include earthquakes, hurricanes, cholera, gang violence, and the political vacuum left by the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse last year. We'll get to our panelists shortly, but first, this report by Kulsum Sharif.
Another day, another roadblock. Protesters have been out on the streets in Haiti since acting Prime Minister Ariel Henry ended fuel subsidies in September. And its most powerful gang has blocked access to its largest fuel terminal. The so-called G9 is warning its members will stay there until the Prime Minister resigns. Petrol pumps are closed, while banks and supermarkets have cut their hours.
We can't sell anything. There's no gas. We can't sell to the motorcycle drivers and taxi drivers because they can find gas to work. And they are my customers.
The government has appealed for an international force to combat the gangs and restore order, a call echoed by the UN Secretary General and the United States.
We live in an absolutely dramatic situation. We have the harbor blocked by the gangs, not allowing